Now available on Kickstarter, John Haynes at Death's Door. The man who rules the world takes on the Greek god of death in this all-new Kickstarter exclusive John Haynes comic book. Put in your pledge and get the standard, variant, or retro covers of John Haynes at Death's Door and other great stretch goal rewards on Kickstarter today. One of my viewers sent me a Cash App donation and wanted me to talk about the future of U.S. politics. And the future of U.S. politics is very bleak because your United States is on the same trajectory as the last days of the Roman Empire before it fell. Now, the Roman Empire before it fell was filled with a lot of corrupt politicians who had taken the nation of Rome for granted. They believed that the Roman Empire was going to go on forever, and because the Roman Empire was going to go on forever, they thought they could go out here and coast and go out here and just keep doing business as usual. Unfortunately, due to them going out here and taking Rome's position in the world for granted, the Roman Empire started to decline, and people like the Visigoths and the Ostrogoths were able to invade Rome and take advantage of Rome being weak. And the same thing is happening here in the United States because we have a generation of politicians who took America's position in the world for granted. Now, back during the days of the baby boomer era, these baby boomers saw that America was a superpower, and because America was the world's superpower, what they did was take America's place in the world for granted. And over the last 60 years, as they have taken America's place in the world for granted, they have not gone out here and made plans to shore up America's economy. They have not made plans to shore up America's infrastructure. They have just taken the country for granted because they believe that the country will be the same as it was when they were in their teens and young adult stages in the 1960s. So these people take America's position in the world for granted. They just don't really understand that their country is in decline, and because they're still living like they did 60 years ago, they can't see that the quality of life in the country is declining. So they have really messed up the country overall, and that's why the state of U.S. politics is so bleak, because we did not go out here and raise and prepare people to be leaders. No, we went out here and raised people to be followers. And that is why America's political position is so bleak, because we don't have anybody in place to be a leader and have a vision for where they want to take the country. Yes, we've had individuals like your Donald Trump who see the dire state of affairs and see that America's in a bad place, but we haven't had a visionary who could set a course for the country and say, hey, we're having some serious problems with the country and we need to set a course for where we want to go. That's the big problem with America right now, is that there is nobody in leadership positions who's fit to lead, because we've got a whole bumper crop of feminists and beta males in most of the positions of political power. And when you have a group of feminists and beta males in positions of power, your feminist and your beta male is not fit to be in a leadership position. Now, your feminist, they want the power of the position, but they don't really know how to do anything as related to, one, having a vision for where they want to go, and two, they don't know how to set a course. Your feminist, she wants to go out here and just have power and create a fiefdom, and she doesn't want to go out here and do anything to change anything. She wants to keep everything in its same place, even though you have to keep changing things in order to move things forward. Now, your beta male is not fit for leadership because he doesn't want to take responsibility. Like the feminist, he wants to have the political power, but he doesn't want to take responsibility for anything. So he leaves things in the same state that they are because he fears being measured and held accountable for his actions. And because he fears being held accountable for his actions, what he does is he tries to keep his world smooth, and that's not how you maintain a nation. No, a nation is maintained by building, and your beta male is not fit and mentally ready to go out here and build because, one, he doesn't want to take responsibility. Two, he doesn't want to make mistakes. And three, he refuses to learn. What your beta male does is he stays in the same place, trying to do the exact same things or make it look like he's doing something when he's actually doing nothing at all. Many of your beta males, they are all flash and no substance. They don't really want to take constructive action because they don't want to change. And that's why America is stuck in a state of neutral politically, because Americans don't really want to go out here and go through the pain of trying to grow a civilization. Americans have been stuck in, as I see it, a political state of arrested development ever since, I'd say, the late 1960s, and they don't want to progress out of that place because they fear having to take responsibility for themselves. I mean, you have a lot of people, they don't want to change, and again, that's why America is in a state of decline politically, because we don't have leaders. No, we have a whole group of followers, and these followers, what they want to do is go around in a circle because they don't really have a direction. They just keep going around in a circle, and that circle is turning into a vicious cycle, and that vicious cycle is leading to the decline of America because we didn't go out here and raise people to be leaders. We didn't raise people to have a vision, and we didn't raise a generation of men to know how to go out here and build. And because we didn't raise people to be leaders, have a vision, and go out here and learn how to build, we have people tearing down the country because they don't know how to build anything. Your feminist and your beta male don't know how to build anything, so they're sitting here going back and forth talking about they want to do things as related to the country, but all they're doing is going nowhere. They talk about change, but they don't want to go through the pain as related to change. I mean, America really is, and again, its politicians are stuck in a state of arrested development. They've stuck the country in neutral. They don't know where they go. And that's all because many of these people have had it, too good. And when you have a generation that has it too good, they don't know how to direct anything because they've been given everything. And because they've been given everything, they don't really want to put in the work towards moving things forward. It's only when people have nothing that they want to move things forward because they have to go through the pain of being forced to move from where they are. And that's one of the big problems with American politics, is that you have too many people at the top who are extremely comfortable, and they're not in a place where they're being forced to change. So that's why American politics is so dire, because we have those on the left and those on the right. They are spoiled, comfortable, and have it so good. And because they have it so good, they have no incentive to change anything. They have no incentive to do better. They have no incentive to go out here and step up as related to politics. And this has led to these individuals becoming detached from many of the constituents they serve. And again, like the Roman Empire, many of these guys are just so comfortable in their positions that they don't really think about the people that they're serving. All they're thinking about is the fiefdom that they have, where they're continuing to get their money, and as they get their money, they don't care about the American people. So they're sitting there getting their money and getting their earmarks and getting their money. They don't care about the American people. And that may come back to bite them because, like the Roman Empire, those Roman politicians took the people for granted, took their nation for granted, took their position in life for granted, and they were the ones caught the most off guard by the Visigoths and the Ostrogoths when they invaded Rome. And these same individuals, they are sitting there, some of them are seeing that they have really taken things for granted this year, and they know that the cultural, they know that there's a paradigm shift coming, and this is the thing that scares them, is the cultural paradigm shift. And that cultural paradigm shift has got some people scared on the left because they know that that era where they could take people for granted is practically ending. Many of these people on the left, they understand that the culture is changing, and many of the young people are frustrated, many of the young people are angry, and like the Visigoths and the Ostrogoths, they're looking at a civilization that's on the brink, and they're seeing an opportunity for them to take advantage of it. Moreover, America's enemies see the weakness in America's political situation. They see the weakness of the leadership, and they see an opportunity to take advantage because, again, we had a generation that had life too good in the 50s and the 60s. They took life for granted, and that's left us in a political position where we have no leadership and we have no direction. And again, when you spoil a people, you don't prepare them for leadership. And when you spoil a people, they take their life for granted and they want to coast through life. And that's what makes them a danger to a civilization. And that's what puts a civilization on the brink. And that's where the U.S. system, as I see it, is. It's basically on the brink. And it's on the brink of collapsing because we didn't prepare a generation to lead. No, we prepared them to follow. And now, as they go out here and follow like lemmings, they are driving the country straight into a ditch. So the sad state of U.S. politics is that we are in a place where we really have no leadership, we really have no direction, and America is on the brink like the last days of the Roman Empire because America didn't take time to invest in its men and women to train them to take over when they were supposed to. No, many of the baby boomer generation thought they would live forever, thought they would be here forever, and now the country is on the brink because they didn't prepare people to be the next generation of builders. They did not prepare people to be the next generation of politicians. They did not prepare people to be the next generation of businessmen, and that's why America's state of U.S. politics is in a sad state of affairs because instead of us preparing people, we took life for granted, and sadly, America is on the brink of a collapse. Now, I hope this answers the question for the viewer as related to her requested video. And if you want to request a video, you can request it by sending me a Cash App by clicking the link in the description box. And if I know something about that subject, I will make that video for you. And if you want to pick up some of my books on the SJS Direct imprint, you can pick them up on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find my books on Smashwords, the iBook Store, and Google Play. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.